last night I went to Broncos this morning.
What'd you think?
Outstanding performance. Offensively, very difficult when you see a quarterback playing at that level right now. He's got a lot of weapons. You got Welker, Thomas, Decker, whatever order you want to put him in. 3 really good running backs. So it's a tough challenge for us this week.
Have you ever seen anybody that goes against the blitz better than he does?
He's probably, him and Purdy are the 2 best I've ever seen. So we're fortunate we got a chance to practice against Tom here and see him a little bit in the preseason, and then get a chance to see Peyton up close and personal. So you're talking about 2 of the all-time greats in the game, so it'll be a great challenge for us.
How does step 1 in the process go? When you're watching it this morning, do you have assistants with you? Do you guys kind of sharing ideas right on the fly? Or
no, we met as a staff all day yesterday. It was just a unique situation because the last game is usually in on Sunday, but because it was a Monday night game, so we had to wait to get the last game in. But we'd already broken down all the other games, or preseason games, and our first 2 games. So both sides of the ball, especially thinking about all day yesterday, put together the game plan, and then we'll get some work today on the field with some openers and things like that. And then the bulk of our practice will always be Wednesday and Thursday, just like it is in typical NFL week.
So you played the 3 games, every day. It's your 4 days off. Is it good to kind of get a little break and go over some evaluation?
Yeah, that's just the way the schedule laid itself out. So we knew it going in. We had a plan going in, what we were going to do, and we knew they needed a little bit of a break just because you were playing 3 games in 11 days. So they were off over the weekend and on Monday, and then we're back together.
For you, they give you a chance to do some things that you, without having to practice, so they give you a chance to do.
Yeah, but we had the same thing. We had the same thing planned. We were in all day Friday as a staff. Worked a little bit on Saturday, and then Sunday was off because there was nothing we could do. We didn't have that final game in until Monday, so we were back in all day yesterday. So just your typical get ready and evaluate, get ready for your next game.
Sorry, you coached it altitude before. Have you found that it's as much mental as it is physical, and at the pace with which you like to play, does that make any difference for you more than it would for any other team?
I think what makes the difference when you play at altitude is who you're playing against. So we played against the University of Colorado a couple years ago, and it wasn't as big a deal. You play against the Broncos, it's a big deal. So it's just a matter of it's an anaerobic sport, so it doesn't affect you the way I think. We're not going to run a marathon there, so I think a lot of it is mental, and just understanding that it's not as big as the deal as people make it out to be.
Your defense is playing pretty well. Dominic Marty in particular. What have you seen out of watching the film on him? That maybe, I don't know how much you watched him last year before you guys decided not to sign him, but how much is he playing differently?
Doing a good job of covering. It's really close to receivers. I think he gives them the ability to play some man coverage, and that they're not a zero blitz. Just leave those guys out on islands. There's always a free safety, and they've got great help. But he's done a really good job of matching receivers and playing in real tight man coverage.
In what ways do you think this offense is missing Jerry Mayer?
I don't really think of it that way. He's not here, so we're missing Howard Carmichael too. The guys that aren't here, we don't look at our stakes and say, if this guy was here, if that guy was here. Jeremy hasn't been here since camp. It's unfortunate. He's training his tail off. I see him every day in here, but we never look at it that, well, Jeremy Macklin, if we had Jeremy Macklin, we'd be in a different situation. It's just, I don't think it's productive to think that way because it's not going to change. Our back's not going to be back to next year. So.
And so then outside of Deshaun, how do you think the secondary targets, how do you think they're developing, establishing themselves in the offense?
I think they're doing a good job. It just depends on how people decide they want to deploy their coverages and coverage. Rather made a huge catch for us in a red zone situation against the Chargers. I think it really just depends on how you're going to try to deploy yourself and match up to us. So.
Is there a way in your offense for there to be more chip blocking to help out certain tackles, or is that something?
Yeah, we do that. If you watch your film study, we do that.
Yeah.
Brent's in there a lot chipping when he gets out. Sometimes in some of our projections where Brent's not a primary receiver, it's not the first guy down the field where he may be running an under a shallow route or a flat route. He's looking to chip on his way out. So.
Is it something you feel like maybe you have to do more to help out Lane because it seems like he's struggling?
No, we've done that. If you watch tape, you can take a look at it.
If there's situations where you would prefer the defense be in nickel coverage, is there a way for you to deploy Ertz more as double tight end and keep them in that?
It just depends on who you're playing. it's a philosophical question, but some teams match you 100% of the time, some teams match by down and distance, so it really just depends on who you're playing.
Chip,